Alright, what's up, you guys? So, my name's Ray. If you haven't seen my Back to YouTube video, I suggest you go check it out. I am going to be building game types, forge content, and tutorials, stuff like that over time. First thing I want to do, though, is I want to make game types, and I want to show the process from start to finish, from idea to publishing, and get as much of that on video as possible. So I'm going to start out with the original idea that I had. So this originally spawned off an idea where players would run really fast, and when they grabbed the ball, they would stop moving, and they would have to move the ball to another person or throw it to another person in order um, to score points or something along the like something really fast, have to stop moving, have to throw, something that forces you to throw the ball regularly. So that ended up not being as fun as I expected.
Mean, Spartan.
But during
This
that, I
is
did discover a particular set of settings that would be actually really fun to play with, and I thought would be have an intense level skill gap similar to parkouring, where in Halo it would require a lot of high speed like button combinations, using Spartan abilities to get up to where you normally wouldn't, like the skill jumps that you'll see like pro players and stuff do. I found a way to improve the distance between normal movement and skill jump movement, and so I wanted to take that and do some cool things with it. So I have this ball here. It's supposed to. Am I playing on parkour? Of course it didn't load up parkour. It loaded up assault. That's why I'm moving at regular movement. But the idea is that in order to get around the map really quickly, you have to use the button combinations to maximize that traversal speed. And I figured that'd be really cool, kind of paired up with a race kind of game type, where you have to there are a bunch of checkpoints on the map, and you have to touch every single checkpoint. To make it more interesting and more competitive, a bunch of people would start at the same location. They'd have, say, 10, 15 seconds to kind of survey where all the checkpoints are on the map. And then at 15 seconds, they're all let loose and they all gain movement. And you have to touch every single checkpoint before anybody else touches every single checkpoint. Alright, so that's going to come in later. But so I have a slightly higher movement speed in general. If I sprint, I have a much higher movement speed, and you can see I move really fast. But you know, your jump is also like high gravity, and the reason for this is so that way you can continue into combinations really quickly. So this is where things start to get interesting. The a mix between the high gravity and the higher jump and stabilization jets, we're able to do things like this and fly really high up. Normally you'd have hit about that height, but because of the way that all the settings are set up, you could actually like really fly into the air. So it's really easy to get up here. Like I'm pretty sure I can get up here without crouch jumping if I time it right. There we go. And that little like that timing with stabilization jets adds that much more of a skill gap gap. So like that in and of itself. So if you time it right, you can get up here without crouch jumping, and if you can get up there without crouch jumping, you can also thrust into it, which will give you that much more speed. So if I sprint, jump, thrust, oh, I didn't even thrust, and I went up there really quickly. So I could just start moving, but a combination of all the things. So if you guys might know the slide jump by now, so you can do that to clear that entire gap. So it's sprint, thrust, slide, jump, stabilize. So sprint, dash, slide, jump, stabilize, and then thrust at the end. Your thrust timer is also down to what? One. Yeah, it's like 1 second. So combining all that together, you can just really traverse this map quickly if you know what you're doing. On top of that, if you know how to jump on objects really well, you don't even have to do any stabilization or anything. But part of the magic is that, like, I could get up here and I could clamber, but if I'm really good, I can clear that without having to clamber at all. I can just fly really high up and then thrust all the way through, which gives me just that little bit more speed. And these settings will allow people to kind of outplay each other. See, because I didn't hit that just right, because I didn't get the distance stabilization, I didn't get the long jump, and because I didn't get the long jump, then I have to jump all the way up and waste time clambering. I'll probably end up slowing down the clamber time just so you get punished more for clambering, because clambering can be avoided if you hit it right. Like, you can do crazy things. Like, I can almost get up there without, I think I can actually get up there without without clambering. It's totally possible. So the idea is to place checkpoints, say like one there, one on sniper, one in here, maybe one in hotel, one up here, and force you to design a path to hit all of them. And I want to make a game type that will make this work, and I want to make it easy for people to add on their own maps. And Plaza in general is a really wonderful map that has a lot of depth to it in terms of movement. So there's a lot of things that could be done. Like, I wonder if I can go from up here. Yeah, so you can just fly through the map if you know what you're doing. And you always find new tricks, new paths. And I have so much fun just running around here and learning new tricks. So I think this in general will just be a great thing to play with. Like, you could just like fly over entire obstacles. So if I'm trying to go over here, just fly over and run. Oh, I missed that. So, but you get the idea. Like, it takes a lot of skill to be able to pull this off, and representing that as a checkpoint game, to where every time you reach a checkpoint, it counts you as reaching that checkpoint, and then removes the map point. And then when you've reached them all, the first person to reach them all wins. Everybody gets a point per checkpoint they get, so they can kind of measure their progress. But like in normal Halo, you can do a sprint jump with a stabilization and all that stuff, but a sprint slide jump. But in this, not only can you do that, let me get a long stretch. You can run, thrust, oh wait. Okay, run, thrust, slide, stabilization, and then thrust again, because your thrust comes back so quickly. So you have so many more options for movement and speed that it just gets intense if you know what you're doing. You can travel so quickly through the map. If you get that timing down on your stabilization, it's just wonderful. And you can like throw in some ground pounds, and you can do some stalls and stuff too that'll allow you to do some stuff. Because like I could stall, ground pound, and then thrust again. Aim, decide to go this way. So tie all of that together, and you can have a pretty intense game type. A lot of fun with just even running around. Like, something I learned in game design was that a lot of good games are made based on toy mechanics, and toy mechanics being like something that you can just run around and do. That's just fun to do, and when you can take that and add an objective to it, there's a good chance of success there. So I'm really excited to come up with this and build this with you guys. You're gonna see me try to make the scripting system work to our needs, because we need to do things like build zones that can track 16 players and track whether or not a player has already been there, and then check whether when a player reaches all of them, then end the game. And we'll have to do things like add waypoints and sounds and stuff too to the proper events. But I also want to make this a little abstracted, so that way, like, it's easy to add on maps without taking up memory channels. And I also want it to be easily testable in Forge and make sure everything's working. And I want to build it kind of on a component style basis. So I'll build the zone, and then I'll build the game starter and the win manager and things like that, all little by little. So it should be a fun experience. We're going to play a lot on Barons, the new Forge canvas, because it's very fancy and a lot of fun. So I'm just going to end this video. I have to get ready for work now. It is currently 6:02 in the morning, which means I have 15 minutes to go get ready. Hope you guys, I'm going to upload this afternoon when I get home from work. So I hope you guys enjoy it when it gets up, and then tomorrow I'll start building it early in the morning, probably around 3 a.m. And then I'll make a video for that too. Catch you guys later.